All right, this is our layout for Theme Park Thursday, episode 8. And you'll get to see a little bit about my mixing things up. If you're following along with the original schedule that I made at the beginning, I've already made some changes to my album plan, so it is okay to change your album plan. But I was also able to use the new Adventure Park series collection for this layout with Hall of Presidents in the Magic Kingdom. And it's a pretty simple page for me. You notice there's no embellishments. It's just the paper and some cutting of the photos. So stay tuned to see how I put together this relatively quick layout from the Hall of Presidents at the Magic Kingdom. Okay, so we're going to start by looking at my album planning guide. And if you haven't seen this or you're not aware of it, I talked about this in my introductory video. It was called Theme Park Thursday, Let's Get Organized. And there is a link in the description there to download this file and print it out and so you can use it. This helps me so much with my album planning. And originally I had put Emporium, which is the layout we did last week. And then I was going to put pictures of my friend Kathy. And then Hall of Presidents was going to get its own 2-page spread. You know, I don't know that the Hall of Presidents is worth its own 2-page spread. And Kathy, I'm going to have to combine with some other kind of random pictures of Magic Kingdom. So we're going to skip Kathy. We're still skipping the golden statues because I just don't know what I'm doing yet. But we're going to go here to Hall of Presidents and we're going to do a single page. And usually when I've scrapbooked the Hall of Presidents or, American Adventure, I end up using one of our patriotic collections, Stars and Spirit or whatever. And so I thought I would do that. But then the new Adventure Parks collection came out and it's got this fun paper with the stars. This feels really patriotic. It's got the red, white, and the blue. So I think I'm going to use that. That way it's going to coordinate also well with the Emporium page from last week that's going to be on the other side. So I took a bunch of pictures. I definitely want this one of us because we're cute. And then I took some pictures inside and I took a bunch because you just never know like how your pictures are going to turn out. So I've got these two of President Lincoln. I've got these that are all the presidents. I've got this one that's the current president. Because, they change it every time there's a new president. There's George Washington. And again, I didn't probably need to print all of these. I'm definitely not going to use all of these. There's just the presidential seal. So I think I want to do something. I think I'm not going to even go to Pinterest for this just because I need to keep my pictures in order. So I think I'm going to do something like with the seal kind of up here at the top and then us. And then I'll do a few little, I'll put this and I'll put all the presidents down here. I'm going to if I cut that in a circle, I could cut Lincoln and Washington and President Biden in 3 circles here. I think that could be cute to have circle, circle, circle. And then I'm going to journal because there's always somebody that boos various presidents, usually recent, current, and or living presidents. But my daughters didn't think that was very fun. And so they decided that they were going to boo like random presidents. So I'm very sorry to fans of Rutherford B. Hayes and William Henry Harrison. For whatever reason, those are the ones they chose to boo. It was very funny, had to be there. The previous layout was yellow with a red border. So if you remember, that one goes right here. And I am going to put these in a book very soon. I'm just not there yet. I think this will go nicely together. I don't know what I want to do. I kind of like the busier background, and maybe I'll do busy background with something in the middle. And it can't be the yellow because I used yellow right here. It's too bad I didn't save that piece of red. I could have put that, but I cut circles out of that. All right, let's see. Let's look at what is in the collection. I don't really, well, I don't know. This watery one wouldn't be too terrible. Doesn't have to be, I could do it that way. It doesn't have to be water. I don't want to use that pattern. This is that blue. Maybe I use that. This is a very blue page. But that's okay. I definitely don't want polka dots. And I really don't usually use like the theme park collection for this layout, but because they added the blue, it's going to work for that. So I have the little stripe that I cut off last week. And maybe I could use that somehow. I do like this, that vertical stripe somehow. Let's not build the page yet. Let me crop my photos first and see. But I think this is what I'm going to start with. And I definitely think I want this star paper to be for the base of my layout. So I'm going to use my trusty personal trimmer, which I always like for cutting photos. I'm just going to cut off some of the excess here. I'm not really going to worry about what size these photos are, except I can't not, like, if I could cut it here and have it be, well, see, somebody's got their phone up. I mean, I had my phone up, so I can't be too mad, but I think I'm going to cut that little phone, somebody's glowing phone off. We're going to cut these guys in circles. I'll cut this one. Washington Crossing. Is that Washington Crossing the Delaware? No, I don't know what it is. It's some random painting of the Revolutionary War. So I want that. I still have my custom cutting system circles out from last time. And I think having circles on this layout will tie them together. I do somewhere have my sizing templates, but I don't know where they are. So I'm just gonna eyeball. I'm pretty good at that. I think this is gonna have to be the blue blade. It's gonna be a little tricky because this is so close to the edge. So I'm gonna put my blade in and then make sure that it's on the picture. Yeah, it's gonna be off center. Drat. All right, so I guess we're not going to be using the custom cutting circles for this. I'm gonna fussy cut this out by hand because I want it to be the right size. And thankfully, I'm a pretty good fussy cutter. The secret I've found is to turn the item that I'm cutting and keep my scissors stationary. And thankfully, because this circle is not completely circular, I don't feel like I have to be completely circular, but I think it's going to look better if I just cut it by hand than if I tried to cut it with the custom cutting system. I will use the custom cutting system for the smaller pictures of those presidents. It is always a fun thing for us to go to see the Hall of Presidents after they install a new president. And I hope nobody will, be political about anything. I have pictures of all the presidents when they were in, when it was their turn. It's going back to, when we first started going here in 1998. So there's one president. Abraham Lincoln might get to be a little, well, he'll stay the same. Abraham Lincoln's cool because he stands up, and I guess a lot of them stand up. Oh, wrong one. Haha. I want this. But it's just neat. If you ever go to this ride, people think it's like a big old snoozer. And, it is not the most exciting ride on Disney, but it's pretty cool to see the animatronics of all of the presidents. And they kind of, they fidget, they move around, they look at each other. And, to imagine the any scenario where all of the U.S. presidents from, past and present would be together is kind of neat. I think I'm going to go a little bit bigger on Honest Abe here, just with the next size up. I'm quite pleased with how my pictures turned out. Taking them with my phone in a dark room with no flash, of course, because I don't want to be that person. All right, so this, I want to mat that. And We'll do George, and Abe, and Joe right here. And then this can go along the bottom. I wonder if there's a better one. Now they're all pretty much the same. And this is actually going to fit probably pretty easily. Well, I need to somewhere put Hall of Presidents. Oh, that's going to be the tricky part because that's going to be a lot of letters. So I probably need to do that along there. So here's this blue that I want for my background. And here's this. And I think I'm going to cut out the inside so I can just use this part, or so I don't have to waste it. I think maybe I'll use yellow. Maybe I'll use this Sonic. Was it called Sonic Cosmic? I don't know what it is. It's really yellow. So I think maybe I'll do that. Oh, that made our faces look really yellow though. Maybe I want some red. So I have some Firecracker Shimmer. That's really bright. I think I'll do the red to matte this photo. I really don't want to matte all these circles. All right, and I think I can do this. The other side has a 1/4 inch mat. I think I want to do a 1 inch mat. So I'm going to cut this to 10 by 10. All right, 10 by 10. So let's cut. All right, this has this border. So I think if I'm going to cut 2 inches off, I might as well cut that whole border off. And then I can use it for possibly for something else. So this is going to be a 10 by 10, and then I can create my layout on here maybe. Although I do kind of like the light blue now. Actually, kind of like both, but maybe I need a border. Maybe I'll use this and make. Oh, can't really do a border because it's too short. We'll see. I'm not going to stick anything down yet. I'll go ahead and cut this to the size I need. I just eyeball it. I'll trim it up on my personal trimmer when I get to that point. And then I want to cut out the middle of this again to save some of this fun star paper. So since I'm leaving a 1 inch border, I'm going to cut this at 1.5 inches. Which will give me a 1/2 inch overhang to use for taping and make sure that I didn't cut too short. Should I speed through these little cutting the mats? Is that something you guys could, I mean, it takes 20 seconds, so I don't usually, but I know that, when you're watching YouTube videos, time is of the essence, and people don't want to spend 100 years watching me do every little thing. So I'd love to know if you'd like me to speed through more things, if you'd like me to speed through fewer things, show more to you, whatever you think. Okay, so that's going to go on here. I think I'm going to do about, that's not 1/4 inch, a little bit less than 1/4 inch. Maybe it's 3/8 inch. I don't know. I'm just eyeballing it. I feel like this is not quite straight on. Oh, look, that has a crooked edge. Must have punched something to get that top piece. So I'm going to have to now jiggle this around. So you guys know I like the permanent adhesive more than the temporary or the repositionable, but you could still move it around. It's still repositionable. Okay, I think that I'm a little bit now. I didn't cut it quite even because my picture was crooked. I'll just trim another little smidge off this side. Okay. Oh, now where did I put my little pictures? Oh, underneath. Haha. Okay, so I'm going to try it with both the dark blue and the light blue. Oh, I want to leave this to say Hall of Presidents. Oh, that's going to be tricky. Oh, it won't be that tricky, I guess. I still have room to journal. I still have room to write. I think I'll just write, because I think the word presidents, well, maybe it won't take all that. Maybe I'll do presidents in big letters and do Hall of in the small letters. And I might need to put the put that down first. All right, so there it is on the dark blue. And now let's try it on the light blue. I just don't feel like the light blue is dramatic enough. Yep, I think it's going to have to be on the dark blue. So that means I can go ahead and stick this guy down. Oops, I went off the edge. I did an activity with some kids recently, and one of the kids just kept going off the edge with his tape runner, and he didn't know to fold the sticky pieces back down, and it was making me twitchy. It's like, no, let's tuck that in so it doesn't leave sticky on the top of your project. All right. I think I'm going to use my ruler, actually, to make sure that I'm straight at 1 inch. All right, easy enough. And then I don't know if I'm going to use this piece or not. I kind of like it. I kind of like the banner idea. Maybe I put that here and then I put the pieces underneath. I think I might need to put my stickers on first, and I think I'm going to use red ABC stickers for that. So yeah, I'm not going to make you watch that. I'll put the stickers on and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my title down, and I was able to make it all fit in my little 10-inch space. So I was happy. I used my ruler, stuck my stickers down onto this, and just figured out how it was going to fit before I stuck anything down. And I do think I'm going to take this little piece of extra paper from last week and stick this down. I'm going to use my grid. So I put this at the 2-inch line. But I don't really want, I guess I can't really use the grid then because this doesn't line up with any of my lines, but it kind of lines up with my lines. That's a bit much. I don't know about that actually. But, oh well, we'll do this. We'll put the presidential seal right here. And then this picture. And I scooted this over a little bit to fit in this 10-inch space. And there's a little bottom of the stage. So if I need to kind of go like over, I could actually trim this a little bit more too. Let's do that. I'll put this one down here. Actually, I'll stick this down first. This is, I find if I put the biggest one down, and it's easier to work the smaller ones around it. And again, Disney was not requiring masks, but it's pretty people-y in there. So we kind of chose to wear masks. Sometimes we wore masks at the fireworks too, because boy, was that people-y. And in fact, when we went to Disneyland in 2021, whenever my daughter graduated from college, which was, I guess was 2022, we went to Disneyland. My husband did, in fact, get COVID at Disneyland. So we should have worn masks there. Although I think that was from the airplane. Being trapped there in a tin can in the sky. All right, I think I am going to trim this little smidge off. Just make it a little bit skinnier. There's no need for me to have all of that sealing. Oh, I forgot this guy. I think I do want to put it just kind of right here. Maybe we'll just overlap them a little bit like that. Okay. I am kind of wishing there was a little bit more of a border between these two pieces, and I think I might do the yellow. And you know, I learned that from that Mickey's Cavalcade. Remember, that's the one that I didn't like, so much didn't like. And then when I came back and put the white strips around it, I liked it better. But I didn't show you guys how I cut those little white strips. I'm sure you can figure out how to cut an 1/8 of an inch strip, but this time I will show you. So I'm going to use this, it's a solar yellow, cosmic yellow. I think it's solar yellow. And I just want to cut some 1/8 of an inch strips. So on my mat, the line closest to the logo is the actual cutting line. The line next to it is the 1/8 of an inch strip, and that's what I want to do. And I've definitely found that if I want to cut super skinny things like this, it's very important that I cut in the direction of wherever I'm bracing the paper. So if you like to brace your paper down here along the bottom, cut this way. If you like to brace it up here against the top, cut that way. It doesn't matter, it works either way. But that way, if your paper shifts even a tiny bit, it just will shift straighter. All right, and I also like to take this blade. There's a tiny bit of wiggle room. So I'm gonna like just make sure that when I cut, I'm pushing to the left and cutting that way so that it doesn't, I mean, it does, there's a tiny bit. So just to make sure that my cut is nice and straight, I'm gonna do these two little tips I have found just have helped me with these super skinny pieces, where a lot of times, you know, a 32nd of an inch, I don't even know what the tolerance is, just a hair tolerance, you can't tell that on a, you know, a 3-inch strip of paper, but on an 1/8 of an inch strip of paper, you can really tell. So I'm going to cut 4 of these. So I hope that makes sense. I'm kind of pushing this way when I cut. I'm not just cutting and letting it do its thing. In fact, I'll cut one that I don't do that, and we'll just see if it matters. But this one I'm just going to cut. We'll see. Yeah, I guess it didn't matter when I just let it go. Maybe it's in my imagination, but I just feel like I get a straighter cut if I push it over to the side. So it could be psychological. All right, so the trick with these little thin strips is something I learned from Sachio Omitsu, who has a YouTube, Scrapping with Sachi. She's also a contributor to the CM blog, but I was on a virtual crop or something once that she was a presenter on, and she showed us how to do this, that if you take 2, let's zoom down. You know, if you take 2 pieces and run your tape over at the same time, you don't get as much waste. If I only had 3, I could probably do 3, because this is, you know, this is now about 1/4 of an inch, but since I've got to do 2, and you just kind of go over 2 of them together. Like right here, it's overlapping a little bit, and that's okay. And I'm using my little silicone mat. I wish that Creative Memories would sell these. We need to put in a letter writing campaign that they make these available for purchase all the time, because you really, needs something. I mean, there are lots of things you can use when you're using repositionable adhesive, but these little silicone mats that they had as an incentive a while back were definitely a good one. And I wish I could have bought 100 of them, because then I could sell them to you or give them to you or, you know, whatever. Have more for me. Okay, oh, I didn't zoom out far enough. Sorry, we'll go back. All right, so now I've put adhesive on the back of all of my little strips. And I probably, if I would have done this before I stuck all the other pieces down, it would have been a little bit easier, but that's how scrapbooking is for me sometimes. I don't know what I'm gonna do till I've already finished the other pieces. I'm just gonna butt it up against this piece. And that will help me keep it straight because the edge of my paper is straight. And yes, I did use repositionable. Aren't you proud of me? And I'm going to trim the corners off. I'm not going to leave it like this, you know, with the little crisscross, although that doesn't look terrible. All right, there's that one. This is a little fiddly. Again, is this the kind of thing I should just zip through and not make you watch? I don't know. If the video is too short, where's the fun in that? And I can speed it up, but then the sound does weird things, so I don't like to, and it won't speed up as much as I want it to. I want it to go, but it doesn't speed up that much. Okay. Maybe I need a different software, but I'm still figuring out the one I got, so. All right, I do like that. I think that that sets off the page a lot better, and I think I'm just gonna miter. I've showed you guys. I was just gonna cut them straight, but maybe I'll just cut them straight. That's fine. I'll just, that'll be faster. This is an awfully tiny little corner to have to miter. Nobody's ever going to look at it. I am still using the strip of paper to kind of align my scissors with so that I make sure that I'm cutting a straight cut. If you'd wanted to, you could have cut this at 10 1/4 and, you know, ahead of time on your trimmer, and then it would have been exactly straight, but it's easier to. Trim them this way. Okay. And as you can see, sometimes when I'm working, I can't talk and scrapbook at the same time. So apologize for all those pauses when I'm in the middle of a sentence. All right, so there we go. I think that's mostly done. I do want a journal. Does it need something else? Does it, I mean, like, I almost don't even think it needs stickers or anything, because it's the background is really busy. And then there's, I think I'm gonna journal. Oh, maybe I could, oh, I don't want to cut this though. Oh yeah, this is the one I could cut. I think I'll use this polka dot paper that was left over from here. I'll use that as my journal box. And yeah, all right. I will do that, and then we'll come back and see if I feel like I need to add anything more to the layout. I'm going to use my navy dual tip pen for the journaling. Okay, be right back. Okay, I think we're done. I'm pleased with how this turned out. It's unusual for me that I didn't put any kind of embellishments. I think the presidential seal acts as an embellishment, and I definitely think that this star pattern paper is busy enough that it kind of fills that need. I'm a little like worried though, like, oh no, I need something, you know, and I thought about punching out some little tiny stars, whatever. I think I'm going to leave it. I think simple can be better. I can always go back and add something later. It's a lot harder to take things away. So here we go. This is episode 8, or layout number 8 in my Disney trip album. And I think next week is the second Wednesday. Yes, because yesterday was the first Wednesday. So second Wednesday. So I'll be presenting with my Savvy Scrapbooker friends. I'll have my Savvy Scrapbookers video on Wednesday, and then we'll be doing the next layout on Thursday in the theme park Thursday. So hopefully that's not too much to have, Wednesday and Thursday, but who knows? Maybe someday I could post every day. Haha, it won't happen. But thanks a lot for watching, and I would love to hear what you think. If there's anything that you would have done differently, or something you would like to see me do, a technique or something that you have a suggestion for this album, I would love to hear about that in the comments. So thanks a lot, and happy scrapbooking.